Thank you. I just want to get back to the systemic risk issue. And I know that you mentioned that you didn't have some facilities in place in September. I do want, just for the record, y'all have taken numbers of actions since that time that weren't made in haste.
That's correct.
And continue down the same path.
That's right. But one of the distinguishing characteristics of the actions since that time is bringing in the TARP money.
Right, and I was in the country of Ukraine when that happened and got the call. The fact was that TARP money never was ever supposed to be used for something that wasn't buying something of value. So that was a huge departure, but I know that's out of your bailiwick. That's in the Treasury's area. I still don't understand what the systemic risk would have been if y'all would have said that on an actual call on the CDS, we'll make it good. I don't understand what systemic risk possibly could have been in place there.
I think if we had imposed, first of all, there's no, as I understand it, there's no legal mechanism to impose losses outside of bankruptcy. And bankruptcy, we believe, would have been a major systemic event for the U.S. financial system.
Even though you could have said, Chapter 11 will stand behind any real pay.
There are literally millions of counterparties to AIG. AIG is a global company. I think we experienced some things with the Lehman Brothers bankruptcy that suggested that it would have been a disorderly thing. I think it would. I really.
How much of your actions then, because we keep coming back to the fact that there's no entity, there's no way to actually deal with an entity like AIG, how much of your actions have been because of the fact that there is no federal entity to actually orderly unwind an organization like this?
I think particularly early on, that was a major part of our actions. But let me be clear again, our actions were not aimed at AIG and its counterparties. Our actions were aimed at the U.S. financial system and the knock-on effects of imposing losses on counterparties. Would those counterparties or others be willing to do business with other U.S. systemically important U.S. institutions that might someday end up in the government's hands? I think it would have accelerated what was a very, very bad situation. Caused a withdrawal, more of a withdrawal from taking risk, a shift of business towards a very few financial institutions that were clearly going to survive the maelstrom.
We've ended up buying stock, and instead of having our money be backing up this collateral that went to these counterparties that really have made out like bandits, and I can see why they really have made out like bandits in this particular atmosphere.
They have realized the value that they would realize over time if AIG was a surviving firm.
Which they are not. And so and I would guess these CDOs were selling, let's say 6 months leading up to this, at a great discount then. So they've actually made out like bandits twice. Okay, they've gotten, because of our involvement, the face value of these has risen to probably 100 cents on the dollar, and this crazy collateral that we've had to put up, which was part of the contract, has been there too. But the fact is, our federal investment has now been made in stock. Okay, it seems to me that that's another step that we have made that has greatly put taxpayer monies at risk, and I just wonder why we would have done that.